What's up, guys? Today's gonna be a little bit more of a casual video. Noxer posted a closed beta wrap-up and looking forward letter after the beta ended on Tuesday. So I figured I'd just kind of go over it, discuss how I feel about it, and other people I've talked to, what some people's concerns are that they've been raising, and go from there. This is all obviously my opinion, so if you don't agree with it or you agree with it, either way, doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we'll just go on down through the list. Easiest thing to do. We know question on everyone's mind is, when is open beta? We can confirm that we have what we need out of closed beta and are ready to move on to open beta. Some people were speculating that they had made it sound like there was going to be a second closed beta test. This pretty much confirms that we're just going right into open beta. And they had another post saying that it's not as far as you would think, which I think most of us thought that it's probably coming up fairly soon, maybe not tomorrow, but it's not that far away. So that's looking good on that side. It sounds like they have quite a few changes that they want in for open beta, so it'll all just depend on how many of them they already have ready to go, or if any of them, they run into any snags along the way. If it ends up delaying open beta, probably why they haven't given a date yet, if they're still trying to kind of tie that stuff down. So the first one they get to is PvP related. They've talked about this. A lot of people have talked about this. Everyone wants equalization PvP where gear doesn't matter. They want whatever skill patch the Korean server is on. All that stuff. This paragraph is pretty straightforward. There's not really much to talk about. It pretty much just addresses the concerns that people had, and I don't think anyone can really argue with their response here. Putting in extra effort points to get this in. Personally expected these changes to be at least 2 builds away. Who knows what 2 builds away means? Maybe that means open beta then a build, open beta then 2 builds. Maybe 2 builds will come out on open beta. That who knows what that could mean. But there's certainly, they keep reiterating that they know PvP is very important to a large portion of the player base in the game, and it really looks like they're trying to appease those people and make sure the changes come in the way they want them to. And it sounds like they're listening. Of course, we won't know until the first patch comes if they made the changes that people expected. I'm sure this will be either way controversial whenever changes do come out. Some people will hate them, some people will love them, it's whatever. But just from this paragraph alone, it sounds like it sounds fine. They're trying to equalize it, bring the skill patch over, and I'm sure they want to push out content fairly quickly, so we'll get other things like Second Awakenings, Imprint System, all that stuff. And I think they want to try to catch us up to the other servers, in a timely manner. So not too quick, because they need to still give us content. But so yeah, I don't have any issues with this paragraph at all. Seems pretty straightforward, not much to talk about. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So this is the this might actually be the most controversial one out of all of them. So basically, what they're saying here is the community impressed us, rather shocked us, with how quickly you hit 65. Whether or not we thought we hit it fast or not, they feel that we leveled way too quickly. From the sound of it, they did not expect us to get there that soon. They mentioned Kritika is not meant to be a 200 plus hour level grind, but it also isn't meant to be capped in 2 days. I was a little confused by what this meant at first, because no one hit 65 in 2 days, until I realized technically we did. It's a little confusing, but basically we used 3 days worth of RP in 2 days, in a sense. So like, the beta came out on Wednesday, I believe, and then at noon EST, 9 a.m. PST, which is 3 hours after the reset time each day. And then we had our 65s, our first 65s were 65 in the morning, not too long after reset, because they started at level 60. And basically, once you hit 60, if you have no RP, the next day you run out of RP at roughly 40 to 60% away from 65 into 64, and then you just grind out the end because there's no board quest, which isn't very tough at all. or you run out of quests rather, not RP. Then you grind with blue RP. So anyway, it didn't take them long to hit 65. So technically, I suppose it happened in 2 days, but people have to realize it was 3 days worth of RP that they did it with because of how the reset time and what time we started at kind of worked out and stuff like that. But either way, that's neither here nor there. But so yeah, we leveled too quickly, no matter what. The way they looked at it, they thought we leveled too quickly. So with that in mind, they see the problem as, oh, they leveled too quickly. We would like them to level a little bit slower. Okay, you have to realize this is what they want. They want us to level a little bit slower and take a little bit more time getting to 65. They don't want us to take another week to hit 65. They would like it if it took us a few days, maybe 3-4 days instead of 2 days to hit 65, right? So with that in mind, we move on to the next portion of this. We want players to be rewarded for playing at higher difficulties, and having hard and insane both give 8 times XP didn't accomplish our goal. Now, this sentence right here kind of muddles up their first point, and this is what people are focusing too much on. They say we want players to be rewarded for playing at higher difficulties. So, continuing on, just remember that part. It was quickly apparent that the fastest way to level was through hard mode. Correct. It was, it's the same XP as insane, and hard is quicker to finish than insane. So, hard would be quickest way to level. That's correct. So in light of this, we're changing the hard mode XP modifier from 8 times to 6 times moving forward. And if people aren't aware, insane was also at 8 times. So hard and insane both gave 8 times the XP. So you would run hard for time efficiency, and you would run insane for RP efficiency because of the red mega boss souls and the other stuff you'd get out of insane. So they're lowering hard to times 6. Now, there's a lot of things I can go into here. So let's start with their first point was that we leveled too quickly, in their opinion, to 65. What this change from hard 8 to 6 will do is it's the solution to the problem they saw. The problem they saw was that we leveled too quickly to 65. Their solution is bring down hard XP slightly and leave insane the way it is. So that way, if you want, either way, it's going to be slower. Not by much, but it will be slower because insane's 8 times, but insane takes longer than hard. So to get the same XP, it's going to take a little longer. Now you can kind of circumvent this with a group, because when you're in a group, that'll speed up, obviously, your kill speed, because you're killing stuff much faster. But don't forget, you do increase mob health with more people in the group. So it's not just a direct, oh, we have 4 people in the group, now we crush insane. There's still a party modifier as to how much health the boss has, depending on the people in your group. So so that also holds true to where if you're going into insane solo, you're not fighting a 4-player health boss. You're fighting what they deem a 1-player solo insane boss health, right? You go to 2, the health goes up some, 3, so on and so on, right? So basically, this is their solution to increasing the leveling duration, time spent leveling, increasing that slightly. And people are, I feel, misinterpreting this without being too harsh. It seems people are upset that hard was nerfed and insane wasn't buffed. That's the first part. And then the next part is that they now feel forced to do insane and party. So let's go ahead. Let's break that down a little. The first part is that they want hard to stay at 8 times and insane to go up to whatever, right? We'll just say 10 times because they used 2. We'll just go with that, right? That is the complete opposite of what they were trying to accomplish. Remember how I mentioned this second sentence kind of confused people? We want players to be rewarded for playing at higher difficulties. People are twisting their words here and using them in the way they did not intend them to be used. So basically, if you leave hard at 8 times and take insane up to whatever 10 times, that they want you to level slower. that's going to make you level A at the same speed on hard, B, level even faster if you do insane, solo, or with a party. That's the exact opposite of what they said in the first line. They said they want us to level slower. So I'm not sure why people think increasing insane and leaving hard accomplishes that goal. What I do realize is people are not understanding that that was their goal. People think that their goal was they want higher difficulties to give better rewards. And that's why they're saying leave hard and make insane better. They're not understanding, like, they need to accomplish both goals, not just one. Increasing insane and leaving hard the way it is only accomplishes the second goal of giving better rewards at higher difficulties. By lowering hard and leaving insane, we then accomplish both goals of giving better incentives for higher difficulties and making us level slightly slower. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on that matter. It doesn't affect me at all. Aside from the fact that going from 8 to 6 is literally just, what, a 25% decrease? Like, it's not actually that big. I don't know why people are freaking out. It's like, I don't know. There's so many ways I could go with this, but it's just like, people's argument is that, or I guess we could continue with that, is that they now feel forced to play on insane and to party. And I'm just like, what? So why do you feel forced to play on insane? I don't understand. And they're like, well, because it gives better, it's more RP efficient. But insane has always been more RP efficient. Even if it gave the same XP value, you still received red mega boss souls from insane, making insane more RP efficient. But, you know, they got the same XP values, so they didn't view it as that. They're like, oh, no, I'm just going to run hard. Because, you know, insane takes too long, when really insane's just too tough for them. So they use that excuse. So if hard goes down to times 6, suddenly insane becomes required. Because they have to level. They have to level at whatever is the top XP value for whatever reason. They feel forced to level at the most XP value. You know what? All right, fine. We'll roll with that. Okay? You're feeling forced to play on insane. Sure. We'll say you are. What's wrong with that? Right? If insane is the hardest difficulty, why wouldn't it give the hardest rewards? It does at that point, right? If it gives times 8 and hard gives times 6, isn't that what you want? You want it to give better rewards, right? And it does now. But for some reason, the fact that they lowered hard instead of raising insane, in people's minds, they feel that they got nerfed. They feel that they're getting screwed. Like, oh man, they made it less XP on hard. Now I have to do insane. And then their counter argument is, oh, I wish they had just raised insane and left hard the same. So you're saying you'd rather insane be at times 10 and hard at times 8 than times 8 and times 6. Yeah. Well, don't you feel forced to run insane then? No. Why not? Well, because hard's times 8, but insane's times 10. So that's where I just get lost, where I'm like, how is that like, I don't get it. You just want times 8 XP. You don't care what insane is. You just want times 8 because that's the value you see, and that's the value you had in CBT, right? So it's like, I feel like they're just like running circles here, just arguing over semantics. Imagine if the multiplier was like that when the game started. Imagine if insane was times 8 and hard was times 6. You think a single person would ever bring that issue up? Every single person would look at that and go, wow, that makes sense. Hey, look at that. Insane gives more XP than hard. Yep, makes sense to me. Why wouldn't it? It's the hardest difficulty. But now the fact that they lowered it, suddenly people are freaking out, and they think that they're like, oh, they're screwing us over. They're making us run on insane. And I don't know. That, like I said, that's just my opinion. I'm sorry if you feel differently, but I don't see a difference. I don't know. I don't understand. So I guess the next part to that is now people are also arguing, well, now I have to play in a party on top of having to play on insane. No, you don't. You get the same XP. You get a very, very tiny party bonus, which you've always gotten. So that doesn't change anything. Now, why don't you just run insane on solo? And then there's no answer to that. You could run insane on solo, and they go, yeah, but it's not as efficient as running in a party. Yeah, that's what it's always been. The entire CBT. If you ran in a party, guess what? You were faster because you're in a party. Nothing's changed here. It's like people are like clouding their own visions with nothing that's in front of them. I don't know how they're doing it. They're just like conjuring smoke up out of nowhere and just they can't like see through it. I don't know. They're putting on rose-tinted goggles, but that's not even what rose-tinted goggles are. So I don't know what they're artificially blinding themselves somehow. And I don't know. It's hard to understand. I guess that's not true. I understand what they're saying. I understand what they want. The problem is that they don't understand what they want. I understand what they actually want. I feel like that they want to feel like they get the same rewards on hard as they do insane. Like, that's what I view that as. Is like they're now upset that they have to run a harder difficulty to get the best rewards instead of just having it fed to them on hard, where hard is actually like pretty easy. I mean, until you run into Ilya and Petra and any rogue boss. Anyway, but yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I don't really know how much else I could say about that. I feel like I've made my point clear. I don't have a problem with it. I guess to sum it up, I don't have a problem with it. I feel it's the correct choice. I don't see why insane and hard gave the same XP in the first place. I feel lowering hard was the correct choice. I don't know what easy and normal values are. I'll be honest, I never ran them, so I didn't check them. I always ran on hard. I tried insane, I think like level like 7 or 8 until I realized the boss has like 50 health bars, and it's like, well, this is way too slow. I'm just gonna stay on hard. It gives the same XP. Why am I even touching insane, you know? Long story short, insane is still the most RP efficient. Hard is still the most time efficient. Choose which one suits you. Like, if you can run insane because you're a good player, run insane. If you're on a limited time schedule and you can't run insane quickly, you run hard. It's I don't know. It's simple as that. There's choices now, and you choose them based on what you want out of it. So I'm already rambling on about this, so let's just move on to the next one. I'm sure someone will more than happily provide me with a comment in the section somewhere and say their thoughts on it, and I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to listen and learn both sides. I don't stand one way or another. I just interpret and give my opinion. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Why you want it that way, and if you feel that achieves both their goals. More than happy to listen. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next one. So for the economy, we were looking closely at how people used both paid EMP and cred and earned currencies gold. Okay, makes sense. They monitor the stats, of course. Overall, we found gold to be too scarce. This is the first point we'll come back to. So we will keep gold drops at 100% when your rest points have hit 0. This is another point we're going to touch on. We're also reducing the price of costume bundles across the board from 2K to 1K. I've changed my stance on this, so let's start with this one. We will keep gold drops at 100% when your rest points have hit 0. Now, for whatever reason, it appears a lot of people can't read. Like, I don't, that sounds harsh, but there are people saying, I've seen the argument now being made, would they read this and they say, now people that have no life can just farm gold forever. It's not fair. They'll just have so much gold. And it's like, what? This hasn't changed. This isn't a change. They literally said, we will keep gold drops at 100% when your rest points have hit 0. That's the same. That's not changing. That's not any different from how it was in CPT. That's literally exactly the same. People aren't, I don't know. People are like reading this as we're increasing the gold drop from 0 to 100% at 0 RP. That's not what they're saying. They're literally like, we're not going to touch it. They should have just left that part out, I feel like. But that's aside the point. I guess the main point is any intelligent player will not do anything on green RP except maybe level. You're not farming gold on green RP. If you want gold, you know what you do? You make an alt and you go farm on purple RP on your alt. or your second alt, or your third alt, or your fourth alt, or farm on blue RP on any of them. You don't. No sane person is gonna sit there farming Skyship on green RP for gold. It's like they could literally spend that time leveling an alt and getting way more value out of that in more than just gold than they would just getting gold from that. So I don't know. But so that's an interesting point. But that's not even, let's leave that at that. The first one, we found gold to be too scarce. This is my biggest question mark out of this entire letter. At first it was the costumes, but this is a little different now. Anyway, we found gold to be too scarce. Now, I've been trying to understand what this means. I don't quite understand what they're referring to. My only guess that I can come up with is they took the average gold across all players, level 1 to 65, and they took the mean gold and looked at it and went, wow, that's too low. Or they heard people saying, wow, I have no gold. I don't even know where to start with this one. First, let's start with people wasted their gold. That's an easy one. You got, well, I don't know, this guy over here. I was trying to think of a funny name for him. I was gonna say Billy Joel, but Billy Joel's a cool name, so I don't know why you'd call him that. We got Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe over here. He likes Kritika, right? He doesn't get to play much, but he likes Kritika. He logs on when he gets home. He's level 23. He's been putting some time in, right? He enjoys the game. Bobby Joe. Yeah, we went Bobby Joe, right? Bobby Joe has got this sick chess piece, right? He just got a purple chess piece from running a dungeon in Deep Rock, right? At 23, he's like, dang, dude, I gotta enhance this bad boy right now, okay? He heads on over to the anvil, enhances that bad boy up to plus 3? 5? 3? I think it's 3 at that. No, I think it's 5 at that level. Plus 5. He's like, ooh, look at my fancy new coat, right? And then he realizes you can buy a weapon at the boss soul vendor, right? So he's like, oh man, I'm almost 25. So he gets to 25. He goes over to the boss soul vendor, buys it with boss soul. It's like, oh, I gotta enhance this too. Enhances that bad boy up. Bang. You got a 5 out of 5 weapon. He gets like these blue pants to drop, right? And he's like, oh, let's go. Goes over to the anvil, starts hammering. Can't hammer. Can't enhance. What's wrong? He's out of gold. You know why? Because he's enhancing so much stuff at a low level without farming gold. And I know the first thing people are going to say is, well, then there needs to be more gold at low level so he can enhance all his gear. Not quite. This game actually so far has done a really good job of, I'm not sure what the word is, preventing bots from having a easy avenue into the game. How about that? It's a good thing that you can't farm gold easily at low levels. If you could, then there would just be bots running around selling gold. That's not a good thing for the game. I know there's people out there that buy gold. I know who you are. It's okay. I understand, you know. Some people don't have the time. But overall, for the game's health, it's better if we don't have bots. And this is a great start. This also ties into the whole you can't trade thing either, but that's a little different subject I'll leave for another time. But yeah, they have fairly good systems in to prevent botting. I didn't see any bots in CPT, which, to be honest, generally you at least see some because people want to test their programs out and stuff, right? So yeah. Basically, let me say this. When you get to Xanadu, your pockets will be overflowing with gold. Legit. Overflowing with gold. That's not even an exaggeration. You'll level through Kesku Outpost, and you'll be like, whoa, I have 100,000 gold. Whoa, I have 200,000 gold. Whoa, I have 300,000 gold. And you'll be like, huh, I actually have money now. Funny. But all this gear still sells for 1 gold. Then you'll hit Xanadu. Suddenly, every single piece of gear sells for 3,700 gold. You're getting 37 1,000 gold for finishing a dungeon, 54,000 if you have elite and you roll both cards as gold, at 100 RP, which goes down to 18 at 500. And all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I have a lot of gold. I didn't have any gold while leveling up. But suddenly at max level, the dungeons give a lot of gold. And that is not even an exaggeration. You can literally make millions by finishing out your RP bar. I'm not even exaggerating. You can easily make millions. This is the part where I'm like, what do they mean gold is too scarce? The only thing I could think of is that they literally looked at all characters, and at all times, like at, the majority of the leveling process, people didn't have a lot of gold. But that's okay. Like, it's okay to not have gold while leveling. I had more than enough gold to always have my weapon at max enchant while leveling. You know why? Because I didn't get a new weapon every 5 levels and then max the enchant. I got a weapon every 10 to 15 levels whenever I felt like, I don't feel like I'm doing that much damage. Let me grab a new weapon from the boss soul vendor and enhance it. Done. I have all this money left over. You know why? Because I'm not enhancing my gear. Now, this is part of the thing is, I can sit here and tell you, don't enhance your gear. I don't know why you're enhancing your gear at low levels. It's a waste of time. All it does is give you defense. That's it. No big deal. Well, that's like, whatever. But there will be people out there, of course, like, but I want to enhance my gear. I think it's cool. It's part of the game. It's a system. Okay, sure, fine. You can do that. You have to understand, though, you're going to run out of money. Like, they can't just give you ways to just have money while leveling up. Like, just so you can enhance your gear. Like, that just kind of goes against the whole reason that they're limiting gold while leveling up is so that bots don't get it so they can sell it easily, right? Yeah, I don't know. People are gonna argue either way on that. I can't win that one because that's fine if that's the way they feel. They want gold while leveling so that they can enhance while leveling. Okay, sure, but I think it's better that they keep the gold low, in the long run while leveling. Because like I said, you literally have millions of gold at 60 plus, 62 plus as Xanadu, that I don't have anything to do with. I legitimately have nothing to do with my gold at max level, which we're going to get to a little bit of that later. But the only thing I can spend gold on, besides enhancing, are, I don't know, pots from the elixir vendor for 100k every 3 hours. That's nothing. People make the argument that you can buy charms off the auction house for gold. I guess. Yeah, that's true, but it's like, say one charm costs 6 million gold. Guess what? That's like, I don't know, 2 characters worth of farming a day, like one day, and suddenly I could just buy the charm. That's it. So I don't know. The charms also have to exist on the auction house, so people have to get them. But yeah, I don't understand what they meant by gold is too scarce. It's not like I no-lifed and just farmed and made so much gold. I could literally log on one of my characters, do their purple RP, and get, I don't know, maybe 2 million gold, 2 to 3 million gold just by doing their purple RP. Like, not even counting the blue. So if I did like a full purple to blue, I don't even know, I'd get like 6-7 million gold. And that's vendoring drops, which people don't understand. Like, when you get to Xanadu, you can then either choose to salvage your drops or vendor them for money. They sell for money. That's what I'm trying to tell people is like everyone's complaining that you can't sell the gear for gold, but you can when you get to higher levels. That's the whole point, is to like keep bots out. But I think most people just didn't level up very much, which is understandable. It's a CBT. People have other stuff to do. It's going to get wiped. Yeah, sure. But like, then you need to listen to the people that did take the time to level up and did figure this stuff out for you. It's not a problem at max level. Like I said, though, I don't know what gold is too scarce means. Whatever. Sure. Well, it's too scarce. Yeah. Let's move on. We're reducing the price of costume bundles across the board from 2,000 to 1,000 cred. I read this, and the first thing I thought was, this is terrible. What are they thinking? Whales are literally going to just dominate us with badges. And I made up a spreadsheet. Haha, Karth made a spreadsheet. that basically like laid out all the stats you gain from purple sigils, purple badges, 9-stack purple badges, and the price it would take. Basically, more or less, it would cost you $4,000 to fully purple out and everything. Costume, sigil, badges. Which, you know, who's to say if that's a lot or a little to a whale, right? I know there's people that spent over $2,000 in CBT, right? And they'll get 20% back. But aside from all that, for one, that's just purples, right? Blues are way less than that, but still give quite a big boost. So if a whale just wanted to go full blue sigils, full blue badges, that's still going to be quite a big bump over a, we'll say, free-to-play to low-paying player who just earns their badges through the game's methods, right? Before I get too much further, I don't know if this is the best solution. This is the best solution I've heard someone offer so far, is make the costumes from the cash shop not salvageable. I guess I haven't had the time to like fully think through this, but I currently don't see any holes in that strategy. Because the whales could salvage them doesn't mean other people can't salvage them either. Me as a free-to-play player could farm legendaries, sell them for cred, and then buy costumes and salvage the costumes still. Which is the argument people are making, is that it's now more accessible for free-to-play players to get costumes. But what people don't understand is, I think people just don't understand how the badge system works. More than anything else that are making that argument. And people just think, oh, it's costumes. Like, why are you complaining that costumes are cheaper? This is great. What a bunch of idiots. They lowered their costume prices. I get more costumes. First of all, you can earn all those costumes in the game if people don't know. You could just go over to Kaggerfield and get... all those costumes are in those boxes. You can random them out. You don't have to pay a single cent. Aside from the fact that you can just farm legendaries and buy them with cred. You can buy the costume you want with 2,000 cred, which was about the going price for a legendary weapon on CBT. I'm just really not sure what to say about this one at this point. It's fine, I guess. I guess it's gonna hurt one way or another. It's gonna happen one way or another. If it's 2,000 or 1,000, it's gonna hurt us more if it's 1,000. But what am I supposed to say, right? Like they have to make money somehow. And if this is like the biggest hit we have to take to avoid RP pots, which I haven't even touched on, that's a whole nother bag of worms. But if this is what they need to do to avoid RP pots, then fine. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's if people are gonna buy more this way, they're gonna make more money like that, and not put RP pots in, so be it. And I guess I'll just leave that one at that. Because there's a lot left to go through. Well, maybe not a lot, but so let's just go down. We saw mixed feedback about the auction house system, so our new goal there is to simplify. Pretty major system change. Basically, they're saying it's not all going to be on OBT. It's going to roll out a little bit at a time. The biggest change is that stabilizing hammers will now be sold by gold in the auction house, giving free players easier access. And a future update, not OBT, setting a min-max price items sold in the auction house. That's going to be a little rough when it's not at OBT, but it'll certainly be a welcome change when it does come in. And many bound items will be changed from cred to gold. Oh, okay. Game economies are ever changing, continuing. Okay, sure. Let's go backwards on this one and start with this. Many bound items will be changed from cred to gold. What is that? What does that mean? I don't know if I'm just like dumb or what. Yeah, Korth, you're dumb. Oh, well, thanks. But what does that mean? I don't understand. Many bound items will be changed from cred to gold. What if they're bound? How are they even cred in the first place? Are they saying like items that can bind to you will be changed from cred to gold? And what is that? Isn't that just gear? Are they saying gear is going from cred to gold? And then now I can't earn cred? How am I supposed to make cred? This is the most confusing one that that I just don't understand what they're saying. The other ones were like, why are they saying this? That doesn't make sense. This is like, what does this even mean? You know, I don't understand what they're trying to say with this. Yeah, I just don't, I don't know. I can't even like comment on this because I have no idea what that could possibly mean. Yeah, I talked about the min-max prices. That's a good thing, in my opinion. So now for like the last biggest thing. Stabilizing hammers will now be sold by gold in the auction house, giving free players easier access. Where do I start with this? Okay, sure. I guess that's my start. Giving free players easier access to hammers by making them sold by gold in the auction house. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. You're right. If stabilizing hammers will be sold by gold in the auction house, then free players could get them more easily because they could spend gold instead of money because they're free players. Where do I go with this? How about, where are they getting this gold? Didn't they say gold was too scarce? Why are they putting a gold dump into the game if gold was too scarce? How is that going to make it easier for free-to-play players if they already don't have enough money? That was my first, like, kind of like, what? Second, let's go ahead and address the fact, who's going to sell their hammers? Like, who in their right mind would put their hammers on the auction house? Not even a whale that had money to burn would stick their hammers on the auction house for gold in return. Who? I don't understand. Like, I'm not selling my hammers. Are you selling your hammers? Yeah, I'll sell my hammers, Karth. Oh, well, you're an idiot. Well, okay, maybe not an idiot, but you're desperate for gold, which you can get for free at level 65, if you didn't know. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Sure, I would love to be able to buy more hammers, but it's like, who's gonna put them on the auction house? Is NMAS gonna put them on the auction house? Are there gonna be hammers on the auction house that they put a set gold price for that we buy? Maybe that would be interesting. But wouldn't that just be like, I don't know, that'd be interesting if they put them on the auction house and we just buy it with gold and it's a gold sink. Why not just put it on a vendor at that point? Well, because then they can adjust like prices. The more that they're getting bought, then they can lower the price. The less they're getting bought, they could raise it, or vice versa. I'm not sure which way it goes, but you see my point. That would be interesting. I highly doubt that's what they're doing, but that would be interesting. More likely is they will make hammers tradable, I guess, because you're not going to put them on the auction house if they're not tradable. There are no tradable hammers right now in any way, shape, or form, even between alts. So to do this, they would have to make all hammers tradable, which is a really interesting concept. Like, I'll tell you what. If they make stabilizing hammers tradable, it makes my life a lot easier on my alts. For people that don't know, I don't think this is a secret. I did it on stream. Basically what you do is you level alts and you give them a piece of gear and they enhance it all the way to max using their hammers that can't be traded, and then you put that piece of gear in your account inventory, and then you take it out on your main and then use the enhanced transfer function to transfer the enhance to your gear, essentially giving you more stability. So yeah, basically that just cuts out the enhanced transfer and then I can just trade my hammers from my alts and just feed my main with hammers. I hate to say this, but I guess I'll say it. What's stopping me from just leveling up a character to 65 every few days and just transferring the hammers you get while leveling over to my main, and then deleting it and making a new character and doing it all over again? Maybe that's what they want. Maybe that's how they want hammers to get put in to the system, into the economy. I doubt it. That doesn't make much sense, but that's what I'm going to do at this point. I'm just going to level alts for free hammers. Even then, if I got to fully maxed 15 enhanced gear in Starhenge, you think I'm going to sell my hammers on the auction house for gold? No, I'm gonna enhance my alts gear and make them farm faster. Like, what am I gonna do with gold? Like, gold is free. Like, I don't know. You generate your own. So, it's not bad. I mean, I'm not complaining about the change, but I just don't understand the direction they're going with it. Not in a bad way. It's not bad. It's good, if anything, right? More accessible. But it's like, who's gonna put them on the auction house in the first place? Where are these hammers coming from? I don't know. So, and that just like opens up the fact that we could just trade them from our alts now, which we could essentially do before. We just had enhanced transfer, so we'd have to pay cred to keep the same enhanced level, but now we don't. We could just give the hammers to our main. I don't know. I can't imagine this staying the way it sounds to me. I'm sure this is going to get changed. Yeah. Before, if they wanted to stop it, they could have just turned off enhanced transfers, but now they can't do that. Now they'd have to make hammers not tradable again. I don't know. So, yeah, that's, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that one. Like I said, it's not bad, but, interesting, I suppose is the word. Of course, I'll get this then, but, you know, then it might not, it's not certainly not finalized. They can easily change it after they hear feedback from these notes, so. Let's finish up. There's only one thing left to talk about, which they very, very they snuck in here at the end that I think I don't think very many people noticed. Whatever, bug fixes, store offerings. Balance changes to Starhenge. Nobody seems to be talking about this. Initially I was like, wait, they're gonna make Starhenge easier? Harder? What? And then someone goes, no, they're not. It's not the difficulty, it's the rewards. And I'm like, oh, does that mean they're thinking about changing drop rates? And I'm like, whoa, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, I think it's pretty abundantly clear at this point that the problem is with Starhenge is that it takes quite a while to be able to craft a piece of gear. And you know what piece you're gonna get. There's no like, oh shit, I got a new piece. Oops. I was trying not to cuss this whole time. Whoops, I got a new piece. Oh cool, I got a new piece. Whatever. I made my chest piece. Okay, put it on. Here we go. I know what's gonna happen. There's no loot system to it. It's you're just farming out crafting materials at a set amount each day. You can't farm extra. You can't, because you have RP. You're not gonna farm a green RP in Starhenge. Trust me. We tried. You're not gonna do it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think the problem with the loot system in Starhenge, they could actually leave, in my opinion, everything the way it is, perfectly fine. Crafting should be used as a supplementary gearing method. What that means is your main form of gearing should be through drops. Crafting should fill in the gaps. I'm trying to remember all these things so I don't forget. I have like 5 different things I want to talk about. So the issue right now is legendaries don't drop often enough. I am very rare to say we don't get high enough drop rates in games I play. Generally, I'm like, yeah, you just farm it out. You know, it's going to drop eventually. No, legendary drop rates are actually abysmally low. And the only reason, now you have to listen to me. I know you're going to take this out of context. I'm looking at you. Yeah, I know you're clipping this right now. The only reason that the fact that they're abysmally low is a problem is for the one simple fact that when a legendary drops, guess what? It might not be for your class. Guess what? It's not tradable. And then you're like, I just did 600 runs and got a two-handed sword on my gun mage. Oh, wait. Oh, I could give it to my alt. No, you can't. Auction house? No. Can Can I salvage it? Yeah, go salvage it. Oh, okay. Do I get like some keystone fragments or some orange critium shards? Nah, you get some gold critium shards from a normal legendary. Oh. Cricket. Like, you can't leave a drop rate way less than 1% if when you finally get one, you literally can't do anything with it. If they were tradable, I hope they won't ever be tradable. That would be terrible. If they were tradable, then, whales could just straight up buy Starhenge gear. You don't want that. That's not the solution. The only solution I can actually come up with, and I really hate saying this, I try to never say this, but they should probably increase the drop rates of legendaries at Starhenge. I don't know what the modifier is. It's less than 1%. A lot less than 1%. If it was 1%, you'd see 1 in every 100 runs. You see 1 in like 600 runs. Maybe. If that. So we're looking at a real low drop rate. And the fact that you can literally do nothing with, 3/4 of the pieces? Because they're not for your class? Is just frustrating. Or no, wait, I guess there's 3. 2/3 of the pieces. But you know what I'm saying. If they had a way to maybe make them account bound so you could trade them to your alts, that'd be cool. I don't think they have that capability though. So I don't think that's in the realm of possibilities. Like I said, they can make it salvageable into keystones or not, fragments, not full keystone. Maybe like a full keystone or 2. That'd be interesting, and a couple orange crits. That's an interesting thought. But I don't think they have that capability either. They can't really make like huge changes to the core system of the game. So I don't think that's possible. The only thing that would, I believe, be easily possible, based on the fact that they could change the XP values, is increasing the drop rate. Now, obviously, they have to be extremely careful with extreme drop rates. They put it up too much, suddenly we're fully geared by accident because we RNG'd our way to victory, right? So, I mean, imagine if the drop rate was 100%. Every 100 runs, you got a legendary drop. Not guaranteed. You're not saying on the 100th run you get one, but in every 100 runs, say you got a legendary from the current pool. A lot of people will still complain that that's terrible because, they log on and they do their purple RP bar and they quit for the day. I don't think that's that bad. Of course, I have a different standpoint because I know life, but whatever. Yeah, so I really hate saying they should increase drop rates in any game I play, but that seems to be the most logical answer at this point for Starhenge. If you could only get drops for your class, period, and you couldn't get any other class drops, then the current drop rate would be fine, actually. I wouldn't have a problem. If it took 500 to 600 runs to get a drop, but it was guaranteed for your class, fine. I'm personally fine with that. I know a lot of people wouldn't be, but I would be fine with that. But the fact that you could just get a completely useless piece, and you could theoretically spend 1,800 runs before you get a piece, if we're saying 1 in 600, and you get warrior, a heavy armor, a medium armor, and you want a light armor, you could theoretically take nearly 2,000 runs to get one piece that maybe you'll use. And it's like, oh boy. But anyway, the point is that they put this in down here, and I'm just kind of hoping that's what they're talking about, is just maybe possibly increasing or changing the loots. Other than that, the Starhenge is fine. I like Starhenge. A lot of people think, since it's the end game content, it should be more difficult. I like the whole speedrunning kind of I wouldn't say community, but there's a few of us that kind of speedrun them and stuff and compete against each other, which some classes, for some reason, happen to be better than other classes. We'll leave that there for now. But yeah, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I like the whole speedrunning thing. But yeah, there's so many more things I could talk about, whether it was in the letter or not. This is already 50 minutes long. This is going to be a pain to upload to YouTube. But yeah, I don't mind doing these kind of little talks. There's usually not much to talk about. This was a great piece of literature that I could do a video on. I knew it was going to be a long video because I just ramble, but I've talked to people in Discord, on stream, just getting like a fair like idea of what everyone feels, making sure I have my own opinion on it. And I guess let's just sum it all up. Just keep in mind, I shouldn't mention this at the start of the video because no one's listening by now. It was a CPT, guys. It was a closed beta. You know what they do in closed betas? They test shit. Oh, I said it again. They test stuff. That's the whole point of the closed beta, is to test stuff. You can't complain when they're like, oh, whoops, that didn't do what we wanted it to. We're going to change it. Oh, no, I liked it the way before. Oh, this is terrible. You're ruining the game. The whole point is them to figure out what they want fixed and what they want changed. You can't fault them. You can't complain. Well, you can complain, but you shouldn't. And ultimately, they're going to choose what they want. You can give them feedback, sure. Like, they seem to be doing a fairly decent job of listening to the feedback. They're certainly listening. We'll see how much gets applied. This stuff seems fine. But yeah, so I guess that's, to sum it up, overall, all the changes, there's not one change I look at this and go, oh, that's terrible. Why would they do that? What are they thinking? Hello? What? There's not a single one that makes me go, what are they doing? There's some that are like, I'm not sure why they're doing that, but it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Yeah, I look at all of these. I guess on the flip side, there's not one I look at and go, oh, that's amazing. I can't believe I didn't think of that. That's so smart. I look at them and I go, huh, I'm neutral to this. It's not amazing. It's not bad. But that's a good thing, right? Being neutral is better than being bad. Being neutral is just as being good as fine. Now we're just like throwing too many words together. But you know what I'm saying, right? This is all just fairly neutral. Overall, nothing of this is like game changing. Like, yeah, there's stuff that changes the way things happen in the game, but none of this like severely impacts the things we do in the game. This is all very just overall fine changes. And at the very least, the biggest thing I get out of this, which I'm going to go ahead and like throw myself under the bus for saying this, is they appear to not want to go in the direction of RP pots. Just as a feeling from like what they're doing here, it feels like they're trying to avoid RP pots. Which, you know, as soon as I say that, everyone's like, boo, we want RP pots. Why don't they put RP pots in? I'm not going to take a stance on that. That's not what the video's about. We're going to leave it at that. Let's cut this off before it gets to an hour, so I could say it didn't last an hour. How do I wrap this up? You probably just skip to the end of the video. You want it too long, didn't read. I'll put timestamps down below. Skip to those, I guess. I don't know what I'm at timestamp, I guess, each point. I'm going to start rambling, so I need to cut this off. I am on Twitch, Karth_WS. Currently, I'm playing Final Fantasy because there is no Kritika to play. When Kritika comes out, I'll be playing Kritika. You're always more than welcome to come to my stream and ask me about Kritika, even if I'm not playing Kritika, or anything else you have questions about. Always happy to help and answer. Leave the comments down below. I'm more than happy to discuss things with any point of view. If you think I'm completely wrong, tell me. I want to know. Like, if you feel one way or another, let me know. I would love to hear all the viewpoints. That doesn't mean I will agree with you, but, you know, feel free to comment and we'll talk it out. So yeah, that's all I got. Questions, comments, handle them. You know what to do. I'm going to cut this off before 55 minutes, even better. I'm out. I'll see you guys around. Next video. See you later.